Alright, it's time that we have a break from our usual programming. I'm going to teach you about pizza fork. It's come to my attention recently that some people on Earth prefer to eat pizza with their hands. Me personally, I'm not one of them. All I can say is that pizza fork's the better way. But obviously that's not all I can say because I'm dedicating a whole video to this. Why? Because frankly, I feel disrespected. I have been in scenarios before where the eating of pizza has happened in the presence of another person, and the reaction of me using a fork to eat pizza has been one of hostility. And it was like a kind of hostility I've never really seen before from another person. I mean, yeah, I've kind of seen it before in a few other aspects. And I mean, those times were more or less deserved, you know? I wasn't that great myself. I was taking my anger out on people who I shouldn't have taken my anger out on. But since then, I've grown and matured as a person to know that the only person who really deserved all that beating and deserved all that thrashing was my son, and not my ex-wife. But if either of them got on my case about pizza fork, it's on. Pizza fork is an essential way to eat pizza. Like, full stop, essential. You can't eat pizza without pizza fork. Like, if I were president of the United States right now, I would pass an executive order that actually criminalizes eating pizza with hands. Why? Well, I'm at a number one reason for eating with pizza fork. No hand grease or oil. Many of you who have eaten pizza before have come into a situation where you're mid-bite of a slice and your phone rings, or someone tries to tell you something, or someone hands you something to look over, or you reach the end of a page in your book. What do? You use your hand? No, your hand is filthy from the minute that it touches that pizza. Never mind the crust on the bottom being dry if the pizza's actually like done right, because no matter what, your hands are gonna get greasy. It's pizza. Now, if you were to actually interact with any of the aforementioned objects with grease on your hand, what do you think will happen? You'll get grease on those objects, absorbing into the page of your book, getting all over the screen of your phone, getting on your face if you were to scratch your nose afterwards, getting on your clothing to where it makes grease stains. Imagine a white shirt with that. After virtually every bite of that pizza, whatever you touch after that pizza, getting dirty. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, I can just wipe my hands off, right? Nope. Grease is the eternal enemy, my friend. You could have like 6 or 7 paper towels on your side, and it wouldn't matter. That grease is still finding its way, because why? Why is that? Because you ate with your hands. If you actually don't care about cleanliness that much to a point where you're leaving grease on your hands, then holy shit, I'd hate to see your place. And this is coming from me. I barely fucking dust. You think this is a fresh shirt I got on? No, this is 3 days running. But anyways, I digress. So, where were we at? Oh yeah, or example number 2 someone could bring up. Why don't you just lick your lips like this? The fuck are you taking me for? Think I'm gonna put my fucking spit? Think I'm gonna replace pizza grease with something even more unsanitary and not sterile? Fuck, man, this is how diseases get spread. People just fucking and then what did they touch afterwards? Oh, the aforementioned list of things, except this time it's saliva. Fucking ew. What are we, saving the earth? Few extra paper towels are not being used. The paper towels have already been made. You think because they're not getting used now that the earth isn't suffered already for it? And by the way, I'm not an environmentalist, so that message doesn't resonate with me either. Number 2 reason for pizza fork: the existence of free will and or God's will. Let me just say this right off the bat. If I had pizza in front of me right now, I'd be eating it with a fork. Why? Simply because I have the free will to do so. That's my choice to do so. It's my preference. I prefer eating pizza with a fork. I'm not entirely unopposed to eating pizza with my hands, but I'm opposed enough. In the name of free will, humans are going to do that. They're going to eat pizza with a fork. So, yeah, there's a defense for that. People are going to do it anyways. Not a strong defense, but then there's the God's will. I mean, yeah, God put all of us on this earth. He created us in all special ways. We're all unique under his image, and we're all children of him. Naturally, some of those children are going to use forks with their pizza. And for any reincarnations of Jesus out there who would say otherwise, let me just say that if Jesus were alive today, and he were born in America, and he happened to be born in like the west coast of America, not the east coast where the deep dish stuff is located, because you absolutely need a pizza fork for that. He would look at pizza and wonder, what possible utensil would there be to serve, eat, whatever? So then somebody shows him a pizza roller, and he's like, oh, okay, all right, so that's how you cut the pizza. You cut it in like a wagon wheel way. Okay, that's cool. But what about eating it? You can't just scoop a slice with the pizza roller and eat it that way. That pizza roller is a community pizza roller. You're not using like 8 pizza rollers to carve up one pizza unless you're weird like that. There's only one pizza roller there, and unless you're the only person eating that pizza, it's not a viable tool for eating pizza anyway. So the roller cuts the pizza. What utensil is there for eating the pizza? Tongs? No. 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 Chopsticks? What the fuck? No. Put it in a blender with 3 cups of water and then have it like a smoothie? The answer came to us in the form of 4 prongs and a handle. I think that's all I really need to say about that, except for the fact that reason number 3 for using a fork with pizza. It's classy. You know me. I'm all about being cool. I'm all about having class. I'm all about having sass. Sometimes that requires a bit of pounds on the ass. It's probably good to like add just the little tiny little things here and there, you know? Just practices that add a little bit of spice into the eating experience and makes you seem, around other people at least, more classy while doing so. There comes a time when you're eating pizza with somebody. Let's say it's a special someone. Or your friend. Mix of both. Business partner. Stranger you just went out to have pizza with, you know? One of those days. You want to make a good impression, so the first part of making a good impression is, of course, choosing the right place. I think. I mean, obviously you can't take them in McDonald's, but Pizza Hut's not bad. So you're on this date at Pizza Hut, right? And they serve you your pizza, and they also offer a few forks on the side. Pro tip from your pal Drew here. You take that fork first and start eating it and see what their reaction is going to be. I guarantee you, except in the case of the one person who inspired me to make this video, 9 times out of 10, the people are going to look at you and be like, damn, all right, I see what's up. They're going to see how you mastered yourself. They're going to see how confidently you went for it with that fork. You don't care what they think. Well, you don't care what anybody thinks. You're independent. You're a truly independent person who thinks for themselves enough to know that fork with a pizza is the superior option. Good for you. High five. You just got yourself a promotion. You just got yourself married. You just got yourself some dick. Whatever the prize was, you won it. And that is for you and you alone. Because you use pizza fork. The class and the sass will be strong with you, and everybody will see it, and they will not fuck with you. Because they know. They know. Number 4 reason for pizza fork. It inspires you to work for your meal. Why do you think sushi is eaten with chopsticks? Is it any cultural reason? Is it a societal thing? No. It's none of those things. It's because the Japanese wanted to make eating a challenge. And honestly, that's fucking smart. I feel like challenges can be derived from pretty much anything. And to have a challenge derived from food? Yeah, I'm open to that. People eat things off of kebabs, which is just one stick shoved through a bunch of ingredients. They'll eat it straight off the kebab. Nobody bats an eye at that. Why should pizza fork be any different? Think of it this way. Maybe you're bored. Maybe you're at home, you ordered pizza, you're by yourself, you got nobody to enjoy it with, you're just kind of sad, lonely, depressed. Maybe you just want to eat pizza, you know? But you also want to make it interesting. I mean, you haven't really done all that much then that day, and so you're just like, all right, well, this is my little game for the day. This is me making the day worth something. I actually pushed myself today. I actually went and did something outside of my comfort zone that didn't need to be done, but I did it anyway, just for the sake of a challenge. I ate pizza with a fork. Sometimes that's essential, you know, just to get that little boost of self-confidence that you need every once in a while. Also, there was like a study at one point that said that if you try to like chase around for your meal, like spaghetti, for instance, it makes the food taste better because it's more of a reward factor. Like, yeah, going back to sushi, like chefs can say all they want and say, oh, you're supposed to eat it with your hands to become like more personal with the food, so that way it tastes better and you have a better enjoyment of it. But imagine eating sushi with a fork, but that's a video for another time. I wouldn't eat pizza with chopsticks because that'd be too much of a challenge for myself personally, but I'd definitely give it a try. As for a fork, that's a decent enough challenge to where it's easy to master, and you get to have a bit more control about how you eat your pizza. Number 5 reason for pizza fork. String cheese? No problem. Let's face it, anybody who's eaten a pizza knows that if there's cheese on that pizza, that cheese gets stringy when you bite into it. That is, if that's good cheese anyways. Maybe there's a different method. Maybe some people use powdered cheese on their pizza instead of like shredded cheese, but for the shredded ones, oh boy, you know the struggle. You probably found yourself in that situation at least once or twice. maybe you'd like to avoid it. Kind of goes back to the whole no hand grease or oil thing too, because not only would you not be in a situation where you have this piece of pizza right here that's like actually fucking like, you also wouldn't have to deal with the stringiness in the first place if you could cut it. Like, it's satisfying as fuck once you realize the difficulties associated with the alternative. Like, cutting that pizza and like having this little chunk of pizza just neatly cut, stab into it, no dripping cheese at all unless it's like kind of spill over from the previous slice. No problem. None at all. Eat your pizza and eat it clean. There will be no cheese on the chin, neck, or beard. Reason number 6 for eating pizza with a fork. Easy sauces and no double dip. So let's go over the double dip thing real quick. You know what I'm talking about. It's gross. At least in the presence of other people. If you're by yourself, you can double dip all you like. It's really not that fucking... But let's say that you don't double dip to begin with. Let's say you're already conscious of that fact when you're around other people. It makes it fucking easier to dip your pizza in sauce this way. Nobody's gonna bat an eye at you if you cut your pizza and dip it into the sauce and just eat it like that, especially if your mouth doesn't touch the fork as you do it. This will lead some people to recognize that you're a very hygienic and considerate person when it comes to eating pizza in a group setting. Plus, it effectively makes your pizza bite-sized anyways, which is what you want for a dip, right? Are there people who seriously like take the whole piece of pizza and like dip it into that tiny ass little plastic container and then bite it and then continue dipping and then bite and dip and bite and dip? Like, damn, you're just making it hard for yourself at that point. Like, I understand if you're at the crust and it's like a stuffed crust and you're like, fuck yeah, I got this fucking stick of bread right here with cheese in the middle of it. I'm gonna dunk that in the sauce and eat it. And yeah, I understand that, but again, the journey that you have to make in order to get there involves having an entire triangle of pizza. The logistics of dipping your pizza in sauce are just simply made easier by the fact that the tiny little pieces are the size that they are. Reason number 7 for forking the pizza. What about the side dishes? What if pizza isn't the entire meal that you're having? What if pizza is just a piece of that? I'm talking about the full package here, the way it was intended. Pizza, fried chicken, and hamburgers. That's all considered finger food right there, okay? Now, there's various ways that you can use a fork with fried chicken as well as with a hamburger, but we're not going to get into those this video. This is strictly about the pizza. Let's assume that you've already mastered the other 2 methods, and pizza is the final frontier, okay? In the spirit of using a fork with a hamburger and a fork for fried chicken, you really should just complete it and use a fork for pizza at that point. You've spent enough time and you've challenged yourself enough to know how to keep your hands clean during this entire process with some of the messiest foods imaginable in American culture. So, with pizza, reason number 8 for pizza fork. You can make some fun shapes out of it. So, you normally associate a slice of pizza with being a triangle, and a whole pizza being a circle, and a deep dish pizza being either another circle or a rectangle, or a square. However, you are kind of limited in terms of the amount of shapes that a pizza could take once you took it out of the box. I mean, once you broke that circle, you now have a triangle and an incomplete circle. You keep taking triangles off of this thing until eventually there's nothing left. As well as a deep dish, you keep taking this rectangle and turning it into some other object entirely while taking squares off of it. When is somebody going to make an octagon pizza? When is somebody going to make a square out of that triangle? When is somebody going to make like a star in the pizza and then have that and then scoop that out of the center of a circle? That's what I'm talking about, that creativity. The thing that makes you carve a giant square in the center of a circle pizza or cutting out a weird diamond shape in a square. You can just have fun with it, you know? You can just make the most cursed things possible. A little bit of a cut here, a little bit there, 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 there. A little bit more on the top here, leave a little bit there. Cut it out, what do you get? A pizza snake. Point being made is, why not have fun, you know? Why not actually have fun while eating? Because I feel like that's something that's underrated. People don't really think about having fun while eating, but they think about having fun before and after eating. Eating is just this thing that's not necessarily associated with fun. Why don't we bring that in? Number 9 reason for pizza fork usage. It's a conversation starter. In this present time, in the year of our mysterious creator, 2026, we have to realize that the world as we know it is in a very tense state right now. There's wars being fought, there's genocides happening, there's injustices happening all across the world before our very eyes. It can seem like a lot. Nobody knows where to start to fight all these things. People think they have the answers, but when it comes time to actually do the action, there's very few people there because there's a lot that comes with doing the action. A lot of sacrifice. It requires realizing that the struggle that we all have to go through in order to make this world a better place from where it is right now, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a very, very long time, and it's going to take a lot out of us. If we are to have any hope of reconciliation in this world between the two extremes and meet in the center and make a better world from the center onwards, we're going to need to begin a new era of peaceful conversation and debate. And how we get there is by eating pizza with our opponents. Pizza is something that everybody can enjoy. Pineapple on pizza? Yeah, sure, I'll take that. Canadian bacon on pizza? Yeah, sure, I'll take that. Pepperoni on pizza? I'm not a fan of. See, if we start talking about our differences, then maybe we can come to some conclusions where we actually think the same in a few areas and then build off of those. How do we do that? Well, order a pizza. We're going to be here a while. The conversation doesn't start until you have something to have that conversation over. If you have an empty stomach, you're probably going to get hangry and the conversation's not going to go all that well. If you're eating a food that's kind of messy, people are going to feel messy. They're going to feel kind of like conscious about that, and they're going to be like, oh shit, there's these papers that I got to sign on the table right here, but in order to do that I got to grab the pen, and I can't grab the pen because my fingers are too greasy from holding pizza to grab the pen. Here, let me move that paper over here. Oh wait, I got grease stains on the paper because I was holding my pizza with my hands. Shit, how am I going to sign this? Should I sign it in grease? Maybe. Alright, let's grab that pen. Oh shit, I can't grab the pen! Forks are needed for this. Leaders across the world have had meals with each other and decided to have diplomacy over those meals. They used forks, and who knows what happens between closed doors. I mean, shit, our president gave fucking McDonald's to a whole sports team at one point. I'm willing to bet you that certain people in the White House love pizza. But, nah. We're not going. But that's just the ramifications of the pizza itself. What about the forks effect on all that? Alright, I'm the president of the United States, right? And I'm meeting with the president of Yugoslavia. I'm sitting down and I order a pizza from Papa John's, and it gets here within 30 minutes because it's just right across the corner. And the president of Yugoslavia is sitting in front of me, and he's like, talking in Yugoslavian. And I'm sitting here and I'm starting to chow into my pizza, and I make a little cut and I stab it and then I eat it. And then the Yugoslavian president, he's like, fork? And then the rest, my friends, will be history. Number 10, and probably the final reason that I can think of right now for pizza fork, is that it ultimately doesn't matter if you use a fork on pizza or not, because what matters are the friends we made along the way. Who cares if you eat pizza with a fork? Who cares if I eat pizza with a fork? We're eating pizza. Pizza is one of the best foods available to humanity. I'm just gonna say that right now. Like, out of all of the foods that I've had, pizza is probably like top 3. Why should we get all caught up in the details about how we consume it? Fucking roll it up in a ball and shove it in your face for all I care. If you have pizza, good for you. Pizza's pizza. I fucking love pizza. What do you have on your pizza? All meat? All cheese? All veggie? Cool. You could have sardines and anchovies on a pizza. I don't care. I like fish too. You could put artichoke on your pizza. A little bit different. Okay, I've never had that myself, but cool. Good on you. What matters is that when we were eating it, we were having a good time, right? It was chill. We were vibing. Sure, some words were said over eating pizza with a fork, but ultimately those words didn't impact the friendship, did they? And let's say after this video, you go out to a pizza place and you ask for a fork. They give you a fork and you start eating it, and somebody asks you about it. And it turns out through some conversation that person's actually a friend. You got their number and you're like, oh, hell yeah, all right. There's a person in my life, finally. When you're looking back on a long friendship that has lasted years and you remember where that friendship started, you're gonna remember that you were in a pizza shop eating it with a fork. And then that other person walked up to you, asked you what's up, and the rest is history. So you know what? Go out there. Eat pizza. It doesn't matter how you eat it, just eat pizza. In fact, I have a song for you to listen to while you eat that pizza. Check this song out. Anyways, that's all I got for this video. Actually, no, maybe not. Okay, I think I've worked that out of my system. Now it's time for the video to end.
I want, she give me what I want,